Hello everyone. Welcome to the Jubi YouTube live room. I'm honored to be the host of this live video, I guess, as we can start. Today is Jubi's 9th birthday. Jubi's official website has launched a carnival of events for Jubi's 9th anniversary. Millions of prize pools, token discount carnival, as low as 90% off. This carnival divides into 3 activities. So the activity number 1 will be share the 300,000 USDT transaction fee discount coupons. The activity 2 will be participate in the lucky draw for free, win with up to 91% off BTC. And activity number 3 will be participate in Jubi's 9th anniversary activities and receive reward code passwords. So tonight we'll send out waves of code passwords. So users will be able to obtain codes by watching Jubi's 9th anniversary video and YouTube live broadcast, participating in Twitter-themed activities, joining official communities, and becoming a KOL partner. And after obtaining the free code password, the user can go to the official website of Jubi to exchange the code for token discount coupons. So users with discount coupons can use them at 14 and 20, meaning like 2 and 8 p.m. Every day from November 8th to November 18th to buy discounted tokens and win up to 91% off BTC, ETH, JT, and other tokens. So that is great. We have divided this broadcast into 2 parts. The first part is a Q&A session with the CEO of Jubi. The second part is a discussion of significant crypto events in 2022. And the third part is a discussion of the hot topics. So this will be the Web3, the future, or all hype. The guests invited are Jeff, Jubi Exchange CEO, Charlie Tsai, co-chairman of Hong Kong Blockchain Association, co-chairman at Hong Kong Blockchain Association, HKBA Club, Abdullah Han. Sorry guys if I'm pronouncing your names wrong. And the co-founder of Quidmere Network, Vincent, AC Capital Partner, Ain, Starinift co-founder, and me myself, Paul. So
did you mention Tony Tong, Hong Kong Blockchain Association?
I think so. If I didn't, then sorry.
Okay, you mentioned Charlie.
Okay. So the following will be a Q&A session with the CEO of Jubi. So Jeff, please answer the first question. So as a digital asset trading platform that has been a professional brand for 9 years, what is the development history of Jubi? What has Jubi achieved in the field of crypto and digital assets?
Okay. As everybody knows that years, we are one of the pioneers to start this crypto business. We've been through a lot, upside and down. And currently, we've been covering 23 countries and users right now, providing different pair of trading. And so currently, we are located in Singapore, and we are providing spot trading to all our users. And tonight is our celebration for our anniversary. So basically, I'm hoping we can have. We are very excited about the industry because when we started, it's only a very small business with very little participants. So we have seen a lot that people comes and goes and see the industry up and down. I think that in the next coming 9 years, maybe 10 years, we can still serving everybody to bring more people to enjoy the benefit of the crypto industry. Thank you.
Okay, that's a great answer. Thank you for that. The next question will be like Jubi is worthy of its reputation and strength for sure. In recent years, Web3 has gradually entered the public eye, becoming well known by everyone. When people mention Web3, the first reaction is to get rich, and the second is disruption. So the exciting and magnificent vision has attracted many big partners to actively deploy Web3 investment and internal incubation, such as Facebook, Walmart, Nike, Starbucks, etc. So as an early adopter and pioneering digital asset and derivatives trading platform, what has Jubi already deployed in the Web3 field? That will be the question for you.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
So as an early adopter and pioneering digital asset and derivatives trading platform, what has Jubi already deployed in the Web3 field? Meaning, what is your features and support for the Web3?
Yeah. Okay. So we've been for a long time. We are very glad to see and more people to this industry, because previously it's just blockchain. Now everybody call it Web3. Interpretation that this will be somehow an evolution of Web2. So what we have right for obviously is the asset we bring out to our investors. We always look for market. We always look for some of the hot topics. We always looking for some of the innovation that we can bring a lot of changes to the industry. So currently we are looking at a lot of in the market right now is obviously FTX is having this huge argument on what's quite recent. So I think as exchange, the is safety, and the most important thing is how to stay relevant in the market. And we are seeing a lot of turbulence this year with a lot of DeFi has been. So what we can bring to the market, first thing is that for 9 years, you can be sure that we are extremely cautious in up and downs. And we will bring a lot of trustworthy asset, so you can be somehow you felt much safer to trade in. That's what we try to. Basically, you need a balance between the safety and the community for this three factors. That is my answer.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. That's a great answer. It seems that Jubi aims to become a powerful promoter and trendsetter in the blockchain, crypto, Web3 industries. In Web3, what opportunities are there for ordinary investors? So can you give our fans some investment advice, maybe something like that?
I investment advice because obviously different taste in terms of whether they are looking for long term or short term. See a paradigm shift from the last bear market to this bear market. The temperature has been increasing and you can see more products being placed in different kind of ecosystem. This is like the recent Aptos, which is the hot topic of everybody, is exponentially. So this really brings a lot of new is not able to implement. Now you can see application layer and going to the market to even expanding our user base. This user base, you can only see 30 or 40,000 user base, but now I believe we'll be seeing more and more projects and more frequent user and can really bring an impact to the real world. So investment advice, or even some of the projects you should look at, I would say, first of all, you have to look. We're a very big believer in terms of infrastructure, because they have a long way to go in terms of infrastructure. So it means that there will be still huge. Basically, one project need to be watched, and the second of all, everybody the next big thing, but nobody know what it's going to be like. So we are look very closely in that area as well. And thirdly, obviously, for obvious reasons. So if people want to have a safe investment, obviously, which is the most safe one, and now it will be the most available. But if you look at other areas, if you're looking for more access, so those are the three that I mentioned, and NFT and GameFi is something that we are quite excited about.
Okay, gotcha. I'm not sure if that's only for me, but the sound from you sometimes is getting kind of interrupted and kind of fades away.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we can fix that or not. Also, I think. Oh yeah, I think you can see me right now. So
how about now? Is now okay?
I think it's better now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I guess we can continue now with another question. So many people enter crypto during the bull market and make a lot of money, but when the bear market comes, they also might lose it all. So what do you recommend for them, and what do you think about the bear market in general?
This is a natural cycle of the bear and bull, the traditional financial market. Obviously, the bear market and bull market, it's much longer. And in crypto, we have a relatively short bear market. And the thing that you do in a bear market is obviously try to study about the project, because in a bear market, this is the time for you to prepare yourself. And this one of my friends joking about is what when you go to the bull market, how to build your position in the bull market. You have more time, because when the bull market came, the information is everywhere. You probably knowledge and study the project. But in the bear market, what you can do is that to basically build your asset class and learn your asset class, and you have a different type of way to approach the bull market, to get ready for the next bull market. I think everybody is expecting the bull market to be in the two. It's quite the next at least next 2-3 years. It's your position when the bull market really came. That's the answer now.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I mean, bear markets are there. We have to accept that, and we have to learn from it. And that's another great opportunities to buy in. Let's say if you are short with it. Okay, let's move on. So, what do you think are the problems of centralized exchanges in the crypto field, given that centralized exchanges cannot provide most services such as staking, and DEXs are on the rise, as you know? how long do you think it will take for centralized exchanges to compete with a positive challenge from DEXs? Obviously, you can, like with DEXs, there are more opportunities of their kind, so there are pros and cons, but what do you think of sex exchanges basically kind of lacking in this field right now?
Of centralized exchange is obviously that is transparent as DEX, and we can see many centralized exchange facing liquidity issue in the bear market. Second of all, I think for the DEX provider is the freedom for different projects to provide their own liquidity. It's a great, but I do believe the centralized exchange in the future. The reason is the structure. You can go to Amazon, that you can have 10 selections. But ultimately, for most people, they're in terms of the training pairs, in terms of the project. So the centralized exchange, I think in the future we will be traffic hubs where you will be helping your investor to select a certain type of investment asset. You can be quite conservative in a way. You also can be quite risk-taking in certain ways. So there are going to be an asset in the next year. So means that thousands of projects, new project coming along. So for ordinary investors, centralized thing can perform as one of the filters to identify one would be the better choice, for ordinary investors, it's always going to be like, okay, of course you can buy BTC, Ethereum, it's not a problem. But when it newly came to the market, it's quite people to evaluate what's the real value of centralized exchange. Centralized exchange have their value because I can validate through our team, and we can have a better selection, So I think what we need to find the better solution, a better asset present to our users.
Yeah, that's a great answer. So let's move on to the next question. So Jeff, can you share Jubi's upcoming strategic layout and planning?
Okay, first of all, obviously we are what we are doing is from all different places, like in Singapore and Canada, all these different places, because comply with the local regulations, So that's very important for us, that we are trying to build a much bigger team to extend ourselves into different countries right now. We are trying to do right now is that, in a bull market, we are trying to invest in a small project to get to the bull market. So we are investing quite hard. Bear market, sorry. In the bear market, there's a lot of projects having liquidity issue, probably they have. So what we are trying to do right now is that try to giving out funds for small. If you guys approach us, we can help you in terms of funding, in terms of marketing, in terms of many different things. So this is the three strategy that we are having right now.
Okay, yeah, thanks. think that will be it for the questions for Jeff. So big thanks to Jeff for the great answers. Thank you for the talk. Jubi is an early pioneering and professional cryptocurrency exchange. We now understand a lot more about it and wish it a fantastic future. That's for sure. And
thank you.
now we can send out the first wave of code passwords. So get ready to grab a 24% off token discount. I will repeat the code twice so you can guys kind of write it down for yourself. So the code will be LS10079. So let's repeat that. LS10079. So that's the code for you guys. Grab yourself a discount of 21%. So we can move on to the part 2 of our discussion. So we will discuss the hot topics and significant crypto events in 2022. I will ask the question. You guys can kind of get your answers. Whoever thinks he can like be the first, or I'll just raise the question right now. So first of all, I would like to ask our guests to introduce themselves and the big events of their projects in 2022. So I guess we can start with Charlie, if he's there. I don't think I can hear any of you guys. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you fine. Probably
Okay,
Charlie
okay.
is not here.
Okay. So I guess we can move on. I guess Vincent can answer the question if he's there, because I think my layout is not working properly and I can't see who's in the stream here at the moment. Oh, I don't think he's there either. Tony
No,
Tong.
Vince, sorry, Vince said he's still in a. Do you need to approve his?
Don't think I see him anyone here.
Okay.
Don't think I can, to be honest.
Next one.
Yeah, let's move on. Tony Tong, if you can answer the question. Again, just briefly introduce yourself to our viewers and the big events of your project in 2022.
Hong Kong Blockchain Association. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. We're the largest community in Hong Kong for the blockchain industry. Started in 2017, and we've been hosting a lot of online and land-based events for the blockchain, NFT, metaverse events. And the biggest story is recently in Hong Kong, Hong Kong government announced a new declaration in support of virtual assets. So there are many companies, I think, like Jubi will be interested in coming to Hong Kong to apply for the regulated license, the virtual asset trading platform license, and the virtual asset management license under the Hong Kong SFC, Securities Futures Commission. And we've seen many companies are returning to Hong Kong. So we are helping companies to build their local presence and work with the local crypto blockchain community in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Thank you for your answer. I think I've just figured out how to fix the issue. So if Vincent can talk right now, I think I've turned his voice on. Can you try to speak? Okay, I think that's not really working. Okay, Abdullah, if you can answer the question, please do so. I think we should be hearing you. It says you're backstaged. I've just fixed it, I think.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. My question is it's about self-introduction, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So hello, guys. Thanks for the invitation in this event. My name is Abdullah Han. So I'm basically into two business. One is Bitcoin mining, which is I'm in the Middle East, and I'm working in Middle East and Africa to commercialize the decarbonization process of Bitcoin mining. At the same time, we are the investor of the high performance blockchain, which is Skidmere. It's based on proof of work, and it's a layer one scalability blockchain. And we are looking for developing use case mostly in Africa and Middle East. And I'm so happy to have this opportunity to speak in the event of Jubi. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for your question. I think we can move on. I think I've just sent an invite so Vincent can join. We'll wait for him to join. Meanwhile, we can move on with Elaine. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but
hello.
Hi. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
We'll
Thank you so
give
much
your answer.
for having me today. I'm Elaine from Starrylift. Starrylift is a gamified NFT metaverse as well as a co-creation platform. We bring users immersive 3D experience where you can create, play, and socialize. We have launched interactive and customized spaces such as virtual galleries, virtual performance, social games, and many more. We aim to be an open Web3 gateway empowering projects to provide more utility to attract and retain users. We develop our product matrix by our own design, collaboration with partners, and incubation of new projects. For example, we have incubated a quest and marketing platform for traffic aggregation and co-branding campaigns called Trenter. Users can enjoy incentives by collecting SBTs, upgrading their decentralized ID as well. We welcome more projects to join our ecosystem. In 2022, we actually closed our 10 million pre-A series funding led by SIG. Other investors include Binance Labs, BSC Fund, and Alameda Research. That will be all for my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Great project. I think we also just got Vincent, so that's great. Yeah, I think you can answer the question right now. You can introduce yourself.
Yep.
And your project.
Sure. Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Yeah, finally, the tech problem is solved. All right. My name is Vincent. So I'm from AC Capital. So basically, we are a crypto VC, and we started back in 2020, and we actually invested quite a lot of end user facing kind of projects, including GameFi, So we're basically like investing and also on the other side incubating. So we've been in quite a few different GameFi projects and also end user facing kind of projects. For example, some of our portfolio includes some Star Sharks and the Blockto, D-Race, GameStarter, Metis, and many more. So yeah, so despite this, like a bearish market condition, we are still being very active in this market. And yeah, very glad to be here and to join this Jubi nice anniversary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, as you can see, guys, we got some great people, great projects here today. So I think we can continue our discussion. So the number 2 discussion will be 2022 has been a turbulent year for the crypto market with price drops in some cryptocurrencies, network failures, exchange failures leading to $2 trillion in losses. So the biggest shocks to the market so far include the collapse of Terra Luna, the US stem. We all know it for sure. The bankruptcy filing of Celsius Network, the bankruptcy filing of Voyager Digital, and the collapse of 3 Arrows Capital. So which big event in the crypto space left you with the deepest impression in 2022 so far? So Elaine, I think you can answer the question. We'll give you the hand.
Hi, thank you for the question.
Wait a second. I think your voice is kind of. Let me switch it on. I think it's kind of messed up. Can you try again? I think it's being echoed. It's what I mean. Oh wait, I don't think we can hear you like this. I think it's better like this. I think you had 2 tabs opened. It should be better like this.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. The market has been highly volatile in this year. The events you mentioned are like falling like dominoes. The collapse of UST and the contagion effects from the liquidation of 3 Arrows highlighted how interconnected the projects are in this cycle. Well, besides that, we are also very impressed by actually the security incidents that happened in 2022, like the attacks on the cross-chain bridges. The impact of those security incidents were far worse than we imagined. Like the Web3 projects have lost more than 2 billion due to hacks just for this year. So for our projects, as we are not in the finance sector per se, I will say that we didn't encounter any direct impact. But after witnessing all these incidents and events, we are now even more cautious about our own security, operation, and treasury management. Yeah, so that's how we feel about all those incidents in this year. Thank you.
For sure. I think security is crucial in these times. I think hackers, if the bull run was here, it will be much easier for hackers to just launch some rug pull coins and get away with it. But now they're trying more desperately to hack the projects, as we can see also with the NFT projects. I mean, I follow the Certic, like the alerts channel, and every day you can see all kinds of NFT projects hacked and their NFTs being drained and all kinds of crazy stuff. But this is what we have to go through to deliver great projects. This is what we have to go through to build the future. So we can move on. Abdullah, if you can answer the question. Yeah, I can repeat. So which big event in the crypto space left you with the deepest impression in 2022 so far?
Hello? Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think like in the last, let me say, 2022, our industry have experienced a lot, and a lot of incident has happened, which give us a lot of like, let me say, frustrations and upset. and it indicates that our industry is still premature. So for me, the biggest, let me say, frustration is coming from the continuous security issues, underlying security issues from the wallet, underlying securities from sort of exchange, and also from sort of cross-chain breach. So what I'm trying to say is that we claim ourselves to be decentralized, and we also embrace the spirit of decentralization. So, but sometimes decentralization does not mean we should decentralize our crime activities. So my impression is that it's about how our industry can evolve and develop to provide a secure, scalable, and healthy and economic, organic ecosystem for Web3. That is my suggestion and expectation of our industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer. We can move on. Vince, if you can answer the question, we'll be glad to hear it.
Yeah, sure. I would actually nominate 2 incidents. So one of them is a tornado cache and OFA C-band. The other one would be the collapse of Celsius. So the first one is kind of like a wake-up call for the entire industry, reminding us that our definition of a decentralization is not sufficient enough to actually make things work. There are like so much stuff and there's so much more stuff that needs to be done to actually ensure that the entire network that we are building, the entire industry that we are in, is sufficiently decentralized, and that network cannot be subject to a single point failure, right? Even OFAC or like government like enforcement, that's also counted as a single point failure. If you think about that, right? You need to really make sure the service availability of the app or whatever like applications that we are building. So it's decentralization is essentially a systematic kind of work. It's not just about we claim it's running on a decentralized server, right? It's not about it's not just about we have a decentralized governance, we have a tokens. It's not about that, right? Far more, like the definition is far more beyond than that. We need to make sure that the robustness of our system, we need to even make sure that some of our team members, right, like if you think about it, they should probably not be in the same country or not in the same system or country. Probably Rock Nations would be an option or basically a necessity if you really need to ensure 100% of the survivability of a protocol. So the second incident in Celsius is basically a living proof of the more the world's changed, the more it stays the same, right? Why we seek the decentralization is this in the first place is simply because of our non-trust in the centralized financial world, right? We call it CFI, we call it CDFI, but whatever name you give it, it's not trustworthy. Yeah, because essentially, so what the Celsius did was essentially like you give them a trust, you put the money in, and they misused it. Simple like that. No matter if that's licensed or not, licensing is not sufficient to protect your wealth. The only protection, the only true protection of your wealth, your own sovereignty, is decentralization. Nothing more than that. So these 2 incidents, I think they are basically all like a wake up calls to everyone involved in this industry that we need to stick with the very fundamental belief of decentralization. Decentralization is the core value of the entire thing that we've been devoted ourselves to. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a great question, something to think about as well for us. We'll be glad to hear Tony Tonk as well answering this question. So please go ahead.
Hi. Well, I'm based in Hong Kong. So for the last year, I think the biggest event that relates to us is number one, China at the end of last year, banned all trading of cryptocurrencies, and also China banned all crypto mining and crypto exchanges. So and many companies actually left China, and many of them end up being in Singapore or Dubai. I think like even Binance and many others, they have a presence in Dubai and Singapore. But recently, just last week at the FinTech Week in Hong Kong, the Financial Secretary of Hong Kong announced at the FinTech Week, and I was right there to witness the latest government statement by the Hong Kong SAR government, is to basically open up Hong Kong as a hub for virtual currency, virtual assets trading exchange. So, and also the licensing details should be coming out. Currently, there are already 2 licensed virtual asset trading platform licensed by the SFC in Hong Kong, and there are more than 10 virtual asset management companies licensed by the regulator in Hong Kong. And I expect to see more companies will be coming back to Hong Kong. We know that Hong Kong, many of the leading global crypto companies from like Tether, USDT, FTX, BitMax, Animoca brands, they all started in Hong Kong, crypto.com. But over the COVID, many of them left Hong Kong for Singapore or other regions. So I think the new policy statement by Hong Kong is a very, very bold move. It aims to re-establish Hong Kong as a hub for virtual asset trading in the world. So we're all excited. It mentioned about ETF. So Hong Kong, I think, will explore opening up ETF for virtual assets. It also mentioned NFT. In fact, at the FinTech Week, the Hong Kong government issued its own NFT for the tickets. And it mentioned tokenization for everything. So I think the real estate and other physical assets will be allowed to tokenize on the licensed exchanges in Hong Kong. So we talk a lot about security token offering. So we're working on some STO projects and tokenization projects, and it also mentioned about a metaverse and Web3. So I think Hong Kong is making moves. So we're and also with the end to the quarantine requirement. So I think people are gradually coming back to Hong Kong. That's what I have to share.
Yeah, great. Yeah, global adoption will be great no matter what you think about it, because we need to bring more people into this space to develop and join us together. So glad to hear that. Glad to keep an eye on Hong Kong and all of it's been doing to the crypto world. So Jeff, if you have some words to say about the big events in the crypto space that left you with the deepest impression in 2022, and what you think about it as a whole, we'd be glad to hear you.
I think the biggest in us would be I agree with Vince a lot. It's just that this industry is not ready. Mass adoption, whether it be security, it's going to be trustworthy for the CFI to provide all this liquidity issue. So even though the technology can provide a lot of great things, but ultimately it's still and we now see that people are still greedy. No matter Web2 or Web3, they're still greedy. So question the current setup for the whole ecosystem, and I really can put in the mass adoption. So on the is that we are not having a winning formula yet. So we have, but on the upside is that there are a lot more as an industry player. There's a lot of tools, a lot missing piece we can. So that encouraged me to go to work every day to find out what's going to be a winning. That's going to be mass adoption in the next bull run. I'm not looking at a bull run of whether this Web3 technology can be benefit for many unbanked people. You can have the financial freedom like the developed country. You can. There's many people haven't had that privilege yet. I'm hoping this technology can bring it to that, but this moment it's not ready yet.
Yeah. Thanks for your answer. We'll be moving on to the next question. In the meantime, Jeff, could you please have a look at your connection? Maybe you can switch that to Wi-Fi, or if you're using Wi-Fi, maybe you can switch that to mobile, because I think it's a bit laggy for you sometimes, and your voice kind of fades off at times. So in the meantime, let's move on to the next topic of our discussion. So how did the series of significant events in crypto happen in 2022? And what advice can you give investors who have lost money in this crypto winter to kind of get back on top, get back on their legs after all of this crypto winter series of events? So again, let's start with Eileen. If you can answer this question, we'll be glad to hear your opinion.
Hi, thank you for the question. I think for the why those things happen in 2022, Vince just now has explained clearly. So I'll just add on to the advice to investors part. For investors, I think the most important thing now would be to do your own research and beware of extraordinarily high yield. Maybe you can try to improve your risk management policies. But don't need to panic. Every winter has its springs. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Abdullah, if you have something to say here, something to add about your advice to investors.
No, I lost a lot of money by myself, so I don't think that I have that qualification to give an advice. So I know it's a challenge. We should stick to what we believe. Thank you. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, that's a great and short. Charlie, I think we missed you on the last question, so if you can speak right now, we'll be glad to hear you if you're there. Oh, I don't think we can hear him right now. That's okay. Vince, if you can tell something about it, if you can give some advice to investors that lost their money in this crypto winter, what would be your answer?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as a crypto investor, right, basically losing money is a part of your life, essentially, right? Because as an investor, you win some, you lose some. That's just very, very normal. That's a part of your life. So I would say, like, the first thing is that definitely do your research. And second thing would be, like, don't panic. Actually, train your mentality is as important as you train your intelligence, right? It's not like even like a wisest man, or so-called like you think yourself is like a wisest man in amount of crypto. Even that's the case, you would still lose some money anyway, because basically think about it. This is probably, in terms of like a market situation, this is the first time ever since the birth of Bitcoin that we ever experienced a macro economy meltdown ever, right? Think about it, right? In the past 14 years after the birth of Bitcoin, we did have some kind of turbulence in terms of the macro, but essentially that's kind of like uptrend. But here is like a turning point, right? We did experience something that is never seen, that has never been seen before, right? This has never been experienced before in the crypto market, because the downtrend, the bearish market, wasn't single-handedly caused by the market correction itself. It's actually caused by the macro economy, the Fed Reserve and monetary policy, right? Nothing you can really do about it. You can't just go against the macro trend. It's not possible. So I would say a third thing that the third point I wouldn't add up to this would be, like just the right wave. You need to see what is the momentum, and if you're a trader, you have to trade alongside the momentum. You cannot trade against the momentum. Yeah, so that's all I want to comment on this. Cheers.
For sure, yeah. Great answer. Tony, if you have something to add here about the advice for crypto investors in 2022, what would it be?
Yeah, we'll lose money in the bear market, but don't leverage, don't have a margin call, and don't pay too much margin lending interest. So only invest with your free money. And actually, I lost more money in the stock market than in the crypto market. So my crypto market has outperformed. My friends lost a lot of money in the real estate market, in the China real estate bonds. That's even suffering even more than crypto market. So so far, my crypto portfolio is still primarily Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I'm doing okay. I have faith. I think we're gonna reach new highs in the next year or two. I'm patient. I don't have margin. I don't have leverage. So I'm feeling comfortable. And for the entrepreneurs doing projects, just the bear market is a time for you to focus on doing real work, build your product, and build your service. And there's so many play to earn, move to earn, shop to earn, link to earn, all kinds of new Web3 tokenomic projects that are coming out. They're very creative. I think some of these projects will be the new disruptive leaders in the Web3. Will be disrupting many of the Web1, Web2 old internet giants. I think some of the future entrepreneurs are going to come out as the future Web3 leaders, and this is the time to focus on building your product and then building your community. Yeah, you need to work with your community, work with your user base. So this is very important what we're doing. Every company should have good relationship with their users and community. And when the bull market returns, and you're going to take off with your good product and with your good community. So that's my advice. Focus on the real work.
For sure. Yeah, I do agree with that. I do agree that there are some great products right now. We all seen the rise of, if we take Move to Earn, it's Steppen, it's the Sweat coin. These projects are still alive, even though people thought they will fall off completely. These projects are still up there, and I think that's a great way to make some money in the bull market as well. Great. We can move on. Maybe Jeff has something to say for the people that lost their money in 2022. Maybe you have some advice for us. Jeff will be glad to hear it.
My first suggestion is that sign up in Jubi as a user. But joke aside, I think my advice for investors lose money is that everybody lost money. It's not like what Tony said, people doing worse in the stock market. Now more and more people consider this to be an asset recognized by SEs. So I'm being quite here. Many assets will be many regulations will be coming out these in the state. And this has certain examples from many other countries how to regulate this is typical. So once this has been regulated, then you have I'm quite sure that more people will be interested in this. Really focus on how to get up your leverage. Don't do and focus on a good asset and hold on to it, and don't look at a position and do too much. Yeah, that's
Sure.
my advice.
Yeah. Thanks for your advice. Thanks for your answers, guys. Thank you very much for that, for the discussion. Looking back in 2022, the love of cryptocurrency helps us remember our original intention. So right now, we will give away the second wave of our code password. So please get ready. Please get your notes ready. I will repeat the code again 2 times so you can kind of get it. So this will be a 41% off token discount coupon. The password is LS8059. So again, it's LS8059. Hope you all got it. We'll give you a second to write it down. So I think you guys got it. We'll move to the part 3 of our topic discussion. That will be Web3. Is it the future or an exaggeration? So we'll have some questions here as well. The first question will be in a second. So Web3 is the third generation of the internet. Many people have mentioned various explanations about it before, but the latest version of Web 3.0 was proposed in 2013 and developed by Ethereum co-founder Gavin Wood. So with the development of blockchain, digital assets such as NFT, metaverse, and other industries, Web3 has since received widespread attention. So to talk about Web3, we must first understand Web 1 and Web 2, Web 1.0, Web 2.0. So the emergence of the first website in 1991 marked our entry in the era of Web 1.0. So this era was characterized by the so-called read-only. So typical Web 1 companies like Yahoo and AOL were the leaders of that era. So the birth of Facebook in 2004, it marked the arrival of Web 2.0, and this era is characterized by interactive read, write, like, comment, etc. So in addition to Facebook, typical companies include Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Uber, etc. So after entering the era of Web 3.0 based on blockchain, obviously, we can not only read information and create content, but also have control our content and data. So typical representatives are, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and this era is characterized by decentralization. At present, Web 3.0 is developing rapidly, but we are still in an early stage. So Web 3.0 received a lot of financing when the concept of metaverse gained attention in 2021. I'm sure you all remember that. According to CB Insights data, financing of global blockchain startups in 2021 reached 25.2 billion US dollars. So a year-on-year increase of over 700%. So that is some great numbers. So we will discuss Web3 today, and our first topic of discussion regarding Web3, a congressman in the United States said, "We must ensure that Web3 will happen." Japan is even more radical and directly wrote the development of Web3 into their national policy, believing it to be the Japan's only chance of achieving greatness again. So global governments are talking about Web3 seriously right now. So is Web3 the future or an exaggeration? Eileen, if you can start the conversation here, we'll be glad to hear you.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Thank
Yep.
you
Yep.
for the question. I believe that Web3 is definitely the future and not just a buzzword. The trend towards Web3 is inevitable simply because Web2 has its limitations. In the Web2 world, our contents online doesn't really belong to us anymore, and we can be easily censored and banned. While in the Web3 world, the projects are so interconnected and open. Platforms can be permissionless and protect users' privacy. I'm not surprised that the governments all over the world are promoting Web3 right now, including like Singapore, where we are based, and Hong Kong, as Tony has mentioned, who has recently published policies to support NFT and metaverse projects as well. I'm sure Starinative as a metaverse will benefit from the recent trend too. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Abdullah, if you have some words to say about Web3, what do you think about it? Is it the future? Is it an exaggeration? We'll be glad to hear you as well.
Hi guys. Web3, of course, is absolutely the future. But at this very moment, I have to say, most of the project is the exaggeration. We did not deliver something that is concrete to our industry. Still too much speculation, and we're not living up to the mainstream adoption at this very moment. But as I said that Web3 is the future, but where most likely to happen, because Singapore is very active, Hong Kong is running after it, and Dubai is trying to give you the best regulation around the world. And but I'm expecting Web3 most likely will take place in Africa, because you see, we are not truly native Web3 citizens, because we are growing up in this generation that is together with Web2. So our behavior, our data, and our privacy is already being shaped by Web2. So when we trying to push to the Web3 adoption, actually we'll face a lot of resistance from the regulators, from the consumer behaviors. So actually, in Africa, the smartphone penetration is very high, up to 96%, and it has very good telecommunication facility, whereby the traditional financial system actually is very weak and very fragile, and it's very costly, very inefficient. So, which means what? Web3 has a very active role and instrument role to play in such kind of business climate and political landscape. And in China, in other parts of the world, especially in the United States, you will face a lot of like regulation resistance and which we're not ready for this. So I'm expecting, and also uh, in the blockchain space, your geographic location, your physical location actually is not important, because maybe like the hash power, the underlying hash power of blockchain supported by a mining city, mining data center in Russia or in the United States. And the regulation might be from Dubai or Singapore, but the actual adoption might be from Nigeria, whereby support a business activity between Argentina and Brazil. So, in the blockchain space, and when it comes to the adoption from the upstream to the middle stream to the downstream, it is so strongly interconnected, and we don't have to differentiate it well where it might comes from. So we believe that my suggestion and my observation that is when it comes to the regulation, Dubai and Singapore, Hong Kong, all these international financial centers will play a very active role. But when it comes to the unicorn mainstream adoption, it will happen to a country with big population that is Web3 native, like Egypt, like Turkey, like India. This country, I believe that is crypto native, and I'm also expecting that the big Web3 adoption will come from these countries. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. That is a great answer. Thank you for that. We can move on to hear some more opinions about it. So, Jeff, if you have something to say about it, what do you think Web3 really is? Is it the future? Is it an exaggeration? I'll be glad to hear you.
I wouldn't be here if I don't believe Web3. It's definitely is a paradigm shift. Simply is that we will see many activities shifting from information based to asset class based. So there will be a paradigm shift. But said, I do agree a lot of projects right now is we have a lot of big promises, but so far only been delivered, and even we're facing a lot more. When we go to we're facing regulation frictions and the fiat to crypto. There's a lot of difficulties to do that, you know. But I do unstoppable force is because first of all, if you look at the project this recent for the young people, and when they first graduate, you know what they set out to do, and they change the world, set out to do a different project. I mean, 20 years ago, the young people obviously focus on the internet. Then, I mean, the mobile phone, mobile internet. So that will be the first instinct. You know, people, if we want to start a project, obviously it's Web3. So this trend is already unstoppable. It's just that what we want to deliver the big promise. So that is the main.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer. We were glad to hear your opinion. Tony Tong, if you have some words to say about Web3, please go on.
Yeah, Hong Kong is a hub for NFT and Web3 GameFi. We have like Animalca brand is a famous in Hong Kong. They have raised a lot of money. I was recently we on behalf of Hong Kong Blockchain Association we attended Singapore Token 2049. So we have many projects are from mainland China. They are as you know, in China they only allow non-crypto games. That is the MMORPG and mobile games, and the Chinese government has banned all forms of crypto, so they cannot do play to earn. They cannot do crypto GameFi. So many of the game companies from China, they're coming to us in Hong Kong because we are one country, two system, and under the Hong Kong law, we can do NFT and GameFi and all these metaverse Web3. We also went to Singapore and went to Vietnam. We attended the Vietnam Blockchain Summit. We also set up our Hong Kong Blockchain Association branch office in Hanoi. So Vietnam has close to 100 million population. Most of them are young people, very active in the Web3 and metaverse GameFi area. So we met a lot of talented developers. So I think that we are going to spend more time. We're also working with some of the leading VCs and investment institutional investors looking at Web3 from Hong Kong to Vietnam. In Vietnam, we're working with IDG Ventures in Vietnam and a few other crypto funds. So we are setting up funds to specialize in Web3 product and GameFi incubation accelerator incubation fund to help and find the winners in the Web3 and GameFi industry. So we are also organizing another tour, Hong Kong delegation to Vietnam and Singapore. I think there will be a lot of people joining us. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great answer. As we know, the Hong Kong government released the policy declaration on the development of virtual assets in Hong Kong. So that's been a great kind of push for the cryptocurrency. So thank you for your answer. Charlie, I believe you're connected again. So if you can speak, we'd be glad to hear you if you have an opportunity.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we finally got you.
Yes,
Yeah,
had
we'll be
some
glad to hear.
connection problem just now. Yes,
Okay.
I agree with like Tony and the other speakers. I strongly believe the Web 2 and the Web 3 will be keeping going on at the same time because for me some requirement and solve some problems. And also I also think like Africa or Vietnam or India market or Middle East have more great opportunities for the Web3 projects. Also, I'm also doing some projects, also in Middle East and Africa market. Also Singapore, but there's too much projects rush into the Singapore in recent 2 years. So and it's a quite small market. If only targeting for Singapore market, but if you're looking at India, there's billions of population, Middle East or Africa. I think it's a great market for the Web3 projects. Yeah, that's my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. That is some great words. So I think we can move on with the next question. Or did we speak with you, Vince, about the Web3 and the state of it? I believe we didn't.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So yeah. Just a long story short, I think Web3 is definitely not exaggerated in a way, but I think it's mistaken because people don't actually understand that. I mean, this is more to the projects or basically more to the VCs. People don't really understand that what's actually stated in or defined in Web3. Web3 is to define a new generation of users, a new generation of user behaviors, and also a new way of new way how the internet or basically the connectivity between people and between organizations should be done. So essentially, if you're talking about the existing value that's delivered by existing infrastructure like Web2, then essentially nothing you can see that's delivered like as a new value by Web3 itself. So actually, Web3 is more about the stuff where it can only be distributed um, in a decentralized manner in its own way. Like for example, you can solve a problem, solve the need by people for their like a social need for socialization, right? Chatting with friends and things like that. So you can already solve that in Web2. You can do that in Facebook Messengers, WhatsApp, or whatever it is, right? You can already have the social media. You connect with people, but the problem is, like for your own social assets, if you try to own it, right, you cannot. It's actually controlled by centralized entities. So your friend connection, your social graph is basically controlled by all the centralized entities. So you can be easily banned. You can be canceled by decentralized entities, right? So that's a problem. And also another thing is that basically internet as we speak, the classical internet we're talking about, it's it's kind of like based on the idea of service, right? It's not based on the idea of being a network of the like a value distribution. So these are something that cannot be delivered. The value cannot be delivered by the classical internet, but can be delivered by Web3. Many people don't really understand that. Many people don't really understand who are the target audience, what are the actual value is going to be delivered by the Web3. So I think it's not exaggerated, but it's very much an mistaken and misunderstood. Thanks.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Thanks for your answer. I think we'll move on to the next topic of our discussion about Web3. So Web3 is a significant event for the internet. It is truly decentralized and has unlimited potential. Globally, the value of venture capital deals in the crypto space reached 25 billion last year, compared to less than 5 billion in 2020. So what do you guys think? Will Web3 reshape online commerce? So Eileen, we'd be glad to hear you on that. Do you think it will reshape the online commerce?
Thank you so much for the question. I think Web3 will reshape e-commerce in many aspects. For example, advertising. Due to the data transparency that Web3 brings, you will eliminate intermediaries and directly connects brands to their end consumers. Brands don't need to waste money by focusing only on the target users dictated by technology giants. Besides, for membership and loyalty programs, brands can utilize things like NFT to ensure the transparency of their loyalty programs. Many traditional brands are actually adopting this right now, like Starbucks. They are issuing the NFT membership cards right now. Yeah, so I guess we'll reshape e-commerce in many ways. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Abdullah, the stage is yours. What do you think about the Web3 and will it reshape the online commerce?
Actually, we are also involved with a variety of e-commerce platform. We're trying to, to provide crypto-based payment and settlement infrastructure for e-commerce platform, because traditionally the e-commerce platform have to use like third-party partner, either like MasterCard or like PayPal or traditional bank wire transfer to for the payment and cross-border settlement. But we have been experienced a lot of like use case in Saudi Arabia and also in Africa, whereby when the Chinese manufacturers send their consignment to Saudi Arabia, the logistic company actually will collect the cash on behalf of the Chinese manufacturers. So in this scenario, a lot of like small e-commerce platform, we have a lot of problems when it comes to the cross-border cash flow stability and also the collection. So this is whereby crypto can play a very vital role to facilitate the business to take place in the emerging market, to connect the manufacturers and the consumers in a peer-to-peer manner and much more friendly, much more scalable, and much more fast and efficient. Actually, we are trying to tokenize the CBDC of China and Nigeria, and to create a stable coin swap of two CBDC and connect this platform to the e-commerce platform between China and also Africa. So with traditional SWIFT system or corresponding banking system, this is not possible. But when you adopt a public blockchain as the underlying settlement infrastructure, and then we involve the stablecoin based CBDC as a payment layer, everything it is practical and viable to make this happen. So I believe that in terms of the payment, crypto can play something much more aggressive and instrumental in terms of e-commerce. This is the first point. Secondly, that is, and also traditionally, in the legacy system, the supplier, the platform, and the customer is very fractured and disconnected. And we can use like the token, governance token, to incentivize the participation of the upstream, middle stream, and also the supply chain. And this is something we cannot achieve in the Web2 system. So in terms of crypto payment, comes to the cross-border that involve multiple supply chain jurisdictions, and also in terms of the law design, like a governance token to connect the consumers and the platform and the manufacturers. I believe that Web3 is very vital to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a great point. Jeff, if you have some words to say, please go ahead. Don't think we've got your camera. Oh yeah, we do now.
Hello. I think we haven't. The previous speaker already covered quite a lot. To my opinion, my biggest, I think the biggest innovation in terms of out, and we have already seen a lot of program, a lot of projects aiming on this area, and I'm going to make a good change on this. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Tony, please go ahead. We'll be glad to hear you as well about the Web3 reshaping online commerce.
Web3. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
What was the question again? Sorry.
Do you think Web3 will reshape online commerce?
I think the Web3 tokenomics will reshape many things. Online commerce, like even like YouTube, the future Web3 version of Facebook, YouTube, UGC content, user-generated content with Web3 and tokenomics, I think will disrupt the old models. I think that the future, the DAO organizations will be more competitive than the traditional, joint stock corporate companies. So I'm a believer. I think there's many new ways of doing business will make it much more efficient, and the assets will be more open and transparent on chain, and investors, users, participants can all see everything online on chain, and I think that's going to brew a lot of new innovative ideas using the Web3 and blockchain. Thank you.
For sure it will. Vince, please go ahead. We'll be glad to hear your opinion as well. Do you think Web3 will reshape online commerce?
Online commerce actually has many aspects, I will say. So in Southeast Asia, where I'm staying, basically you're talking about like a Shopee or Lazada or this kind of like e-commerce or essentially Shopify, which is more decentralized versions of everyone has their own store kind of idea of having e-commerce down, right? Behind it, that actually involves even more infrastructure, which is basically logistics. So logistics is actually what makes the entire e-commerce things happen. It cannot just work on its own. So I would rather say, it's actually a very long-term thing if you think about it. If Web3s really don't want to take on the existing kind of like a e-commerce landscape, right? Because you are not just fixing how does the distribution channel in terms of the like information it actually works. It also needs to take on the logistics kind of channels. How does it work, right? So it's a long way to go. So what I'm thinking about is probably like it's in a more feasible way, more practically. It would actually start with virtual products, right? For example, like a gaming stuff, right? Like Google credits for merchants, right? IP kind of stuff. This will be more feasible way to really kickstart an e-commerce on chain, right? And if you think about it, what actually motivates IPs or existing brands to actually come over to Web3? This is probably because they want to be cool. They want to do branding because we have the group of users that Web2 don't really have, right? People on Web3 tend to be more willing to take risks, right? They are they tend to be more knowledgeable in a way. They tend to have more wealth, like they tend to care more about their personal sovereignty. This kind of customer profile is something that never been seen in the Web2 world. They don't have this kind of labeling, right? So it's something that they can not touch. This group of users they cannot touch in the traditional e-commerce. So that's why they would like to tap into the Web3 world. They want to cater to these group of people, right? But what they are actually doing, or basically start with, is they would be starting with branding. What we need to help them with with NFTs, with DID, with whatever we have, metaverse, whatever we have, is first to start with them branding. We need to help them to find a way to anchor themselves in the Web3 world. Then we talk about how we can do more delivery stuff. Then we can talk about how we can do logistics in the Web3 world. So it's kind of like a step-by-step thing. So far, I haven't seen anything, any very good kind of effort or endeavor tackling this part. But I do know, some of the ecosystems already started thinking that way. For example, like Polygon or Sway, they already have designated kind of departments to that kind of endeavor. I would call this a very, very good start, but let's see. Thanks.
Oh, sorry, I think my mic was muted. Charlie, we'd be glad to hear your opinion as well. Do you think Web3 will reshape online commerce? Also, Vincent, thank you for the answer.
Yes. So realistically, I think it's will happen, but I didn't also see too much successful commercial case right now. But I'm planning to do something is combining with the Web2 and the Web3s. But the Web3s, I'm using this this type is to solve out some information exchange requirement between the different customers to match up their informations and to do the exchange. But for some like something like a payment, the token, the payments through the tokens or stable coins, I'm still thinking Web2, the centralized is better than the decentralized ways. So I believe the Web3 can apply for some kind of the usage in the online business. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thanks for your question. I think we can move on to the next topic of discussion, and I'll be pretty curious to hear what you guys think about it. So crypto industry insiders regarding Web3 as the next technological revolution, so with even more impact than the internet itself. But outsiders cannot see its potential. So I would like to ask you guys to answer this question. How can Web3 make human society better? What problems does it solve? So this is the big question. I think it's very open, and I'll be glad to hear what do you guys think about it. So Elaine, please go ahead.
Thank you for the question. In my view, Web3 will make human society better in a few ways. Firstly, by increasing transparency of financial transactions and data usage. In the Web2 world, people have to trust a centralized authority to process like financial data. This could fail as what we saw in 2008 financial crisis and the privacy issue related to Facebook and Twitter. Secondly, by empowering global cooperation in Web2 world, startup is like largely limited by its geographic locations, but in Web3 world, people from all over the world can contribute to the same cause together. People can choose the way they want to collaborate with each other and the community they want to build. This is beyond the constraints of countries, time zones, and traditional organization structures. Last but not least, by advocating community ownership, in Web2 world, early users' contribution to a platform is not really recognized. While in the Web3 world, the problem is solved by the distribution of rewards, including token airdrops, DAO governance rights, or decentralized ID building via SBT rewards, and etc. Yeah, so that's how I feel Web3 can really contribute to human society. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. It's a great answer, Abdullah. Please go ahead and continue with your answer. If you have something to say, how can Web3 make human society better? If it does, what problems does it solve?
Okay, actually, solve a very fundamental problem that we always ignore. That is a mintage, decentralized mintage power. So, because money from Sir Frederick Hayek, from his book, The Decentralization of Money. So the money issues and mintage is always also associated with military power and also the wars and everything. So actually, if we can use proof of work and blockchain, and we can decentralize money, and actually this is going to be very important for humanity to create a peaceful society. And this is something very important, and we always ignore about this one. And I'm also going to illustrate that a use case that which is going to explain how Web3 is going to contribute humanity through three perspectives. Firstly, environmental. Secondly, social. And third, that is financial. So basically, how blockchain and Web3 is going to deliver social justice and financial inclusion in line with carbon neutrality and green economy. I'm going to give you a use case right now because I'm into Bitcoin mining, and which is we need a lot of electricity. So people always criticize us. Okay, Bitcoin mining is proof of work, and you guys consume too much energy, and you guys did not deliver anything. But at this very moment, I'm actually working with oil and gas producers in Middle East and Africa. So when it comes to the oil and gas production, it always have a lot of gas that is flaring. I mean, a lot of energy that is wasted. And when you convert this energy into electricity, you cannot do anything about it because you cannot connect this multiple pipeline. And so we can deploy Bitcoin mining and Git mining data center to this flare gas place. And we will convert this flare gas into Bitcoin and Gitmir. We'll use this wasted energy to support to create Bitcoin as commodity and also a data center. So we reduce the carbon emissions and also the CO2 reductions. So a lot of things that is very, very negatively to our environment. So you see that this blockchain can also be a very constructive rule to solve an environmental problem, which means likewise in the future, if we are push adoption of Bitcoin in the United States, but actually we're solving an environmental problem in Iraq. This is not something we can make this happen in Web 2 or Web 1. So first question is how the Web3 is contributing environmental sustainability. Secondly, when we build this data center, we monetize this Western energy, we will share 20% or more the hash power to the local community. So which means we are using blockchain to generate commodity, Bitcoin and Gitmir, and we're sharing our power, we're sharing our hash power to the local community in Nigeria, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Iraq. We're solving the problem of the poverty, we're supporting the needy. But this is very healthy and organic. We're using the Western energy from your own country and solve the financial problem from your side. And on top of this big data center, we can deploy payment solutions and all the Web3 adoptions and engage the local communities. So this is something we need, our industry need to reflect ourselves. We cannot just because of we claim decentralization, disruption, while expecting the world to embrace us automatically. We need to look at our industry from the other side, from another industry. How do they look about us? And so we can be able to deliver something that is really concrete to solve some real problems in terms of the environmental problems, in terms of financial inclusion problem, in terms of social justice that is challenging even the survival of this humanity. And this is something that I want to share with everyone. That is how we can achieve something that is concrete, and tangible to solve the real problem, to provide an actual use case to the physical world. Thank you.
That is a great speech. That is a great answer. And I see our chat in YouTube also is excited about the speech that you've given. So thanks for your answer. It's great with the use cases as well. So Jeff, please go on with your speech. If you can talk about how Web3 can make human society better and what problems does it solve. I hope your sound of your mic will be better right now because it still fades a bit every like 10 seconds or so. Yeah, we can.
Can you hear me? Okay. So I just have my sincere hope, because obviously Web3 can do in the industry but if you look at the problem, the level of humanity, I would just say one thing is that because I think the current economic system, too many gap between the rich and poor, and I think the distribution need correction. So there's a lot of deviation still huge. So I believe the technology can unleash potential from the developing world, so people can have this opportunity, to own the data, to have their own creation, to have their own voice. This will be the basic infrastructure to bring humanity to the next level. But how would that play out? I think that's for everybody's contribution for the best.
That is a great answer. Thank you. Tony Tong, we'll be glad to hear your answer as well. How can Web3 make human society better? What problems does it solve? Please go ahead.
I think Web3 is a more fair way of distribution of the technology, and it enables users to manage their own content and manage their own digital asset. So I think it will be more competitive. It's not as efficient as the centralized servers, but in a tokenomics, Web3 based tokenomics, it would make the whole ecosystem more fair and more, I think in the long run, it's good for the community, for the users.
For sure. Thank you for that. Vince, please go ahead. We'll be glad to hear your speech as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so to me, I think Web3, the biggest, the biggest meaning of Web3 is actually the openness, right? So essentially, if you think about it, being a user in the Web2 world is like everything's already set, everything's super centralized, super controlled, even your user experience is controlled, right? So that means that actually advocate a kind of like a mindset that you don't have to be responsible. Any like the system or the stuff that the product is kind of like being responsible, but you are not responsible. Or you or always need someone to hold your hand through the entire process of e-commerce, service provision, everything essentially. So being bathed in this kind of environment, human beings kind of being they're kind of like being domesticated, if you think about that, right? People no longer need to be responsible for themselves. People are kind of like being too dependent on others. But Web3 is different. Web3 is kind of like being brutally opening up the entire value chain of modern society or the modern industry, right? Especially the virtual ones, they open it up. They show you, okay, here is how it's composed, right? Here is where you can get the value. Here is why it is so. So if you are heavily involved in DeFi, you would probably learn more than having a degree in economics in university about how the human society is working, how the human like the economics in the human society is actually working, right? Because DeFi is pretty much like a destructure the entire value chain in front of you. It's a matter of your own choice that if you want to take your own responsibility and join it, right? It's a matter of you, your choice if you want to learn how to make a profits in the real financial world using DeFi. So it's pretty much like the same case. I would say the significance of Web3 or cryptocurrency in general is that it opens up the opportunity, a second chance for human beings to make the choice. Do you want to take the blue pill or you want to take the red pill, right? It's a second chance for you to choose the reality. It's a second chance for you to take responsibility of your own life or your own destiny, to take the sovereignty of your life back, right? Not just the relying on others, not just the relying on the United States, probably you've been in, right? So to me, that's the biggest importance. It's way beyond just the providing a certain kind of a product, certain kind of experience to the users. It's more philosophical if you think about it. Thanks.
Yeah, it is, and it is a great answer for the question. Something to think about. So, thank you, Vince. Let's move on to the next topic of discussion. What is it in the underlying logic and top-level design of Web3 brand culture and economy that allows it to disrupt Web2 brands? Why do brand owners, project owners, need to prepare in advance for the arrival of the next generation of the internet, meaning the Web3? What preparation and layout have you done for the Web3? So, Elaine, let's start with that.
Thank you for the question. So in Web2, the primary go-to-market stakeholder is actually the customer. But in Web3 world, the entire community of contributors are turned into stakeholders, driving the need for a new distribution strategy. The opportunity is to leverage on tokens and underlying decentralized technology to build these new networks. Web2 businesses go-to-market strategy start with the product, while Web3 businesses start with community building and community engagement. For Web3 projects like us, we'll try to attract Web2 users by creating user experiences that's intuitive for non-crypto users. For example, they don't need to connect wallet to experience our platform, but they will be incentivized to do so in order to claim rewards. In this way, we gradually educate them in that sense, and we value interconnectivity a lot by collaborating with both Web2 brands and Web3 projects and communities. We believe that we can achieve synergy from both worlds. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the great answer. Abdullah, please go ahead with your answer. What do you think? Why do brand owners need to prepare in advance for the arrival of the next generation of the internet, and what preparation and layout have you done for the Web3?
All right. Thank you. So in terms of Web3, and I'm expecting it, and actually I'm promoting Web3 very aggressively in the mainstream media and also in Africa. And during my last travel to the West Africa, I feel that like contrary to my assumption that Africa is very hungry for Web3 adoption is from like let me say If because right now in Dubai and Singapore and Hong Kong, people are, let me say, I kind of insensitive about Web3. We're talking about Web3 here, but at the end of the day, Web3 need users. Web3 need a user base. So when I deliver my speech in Africa, and I promise everyone I'm going to airdrop like $10, while immediately after my speech, I received 200 people. So this is something that I can feel the passion, and I can feel the enthusiasm and the spirit and openness to embrace the reality of Web3. So I have a lot of passion about Africa, and for my own project, I'm currently I want to make sure that it's proof of work, the high performance blockchain need to engage more traditional stakeholders like a government, like a national company, because in order to boost the mainstream adoption of blockchain and cryptocurrency, we must make sure that it's a mainstream must feel comfortable to accept us, to be part of our story, to be part of our narratives. That is why I'm pushing very hard to decentralize the as a layer one hash power. I'm engaging miners from especially the energy company from United States to Oman to Nigeria to Venezuela. And I want to make sure that is the underlying hash power must be fully decentralized to enable the access of anyone on this planet, including the energy company, individuals, and institutions. And on the secondary layer, in terms of ecosystem, we're trying to push adoption from two channels. First channel, we aggressively submit our proposal to engage the regulators, especially the central bank. So we're trying to issue the CBDC for the for the country from Africa. So especially with small economies with like 5 million population, we will make sure that we issue a stablecoin of CBDC. So this is like following the right of the regulators, and we make sure everything's doing in the proper compliance. At the same time, I'm pushing very hard to establish the community and to do the DeFi project, to do an NFT project according to what we have experienced from elsewhere. So what I'm trying to say is that I want to tell not only to the Gitmir community or GB users, I want to make a public call and a public invitation of our stakeholders, especially from our industry. We need to think out of the box, deliver something concrete, be patient, be less speculative, be less greedy, be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to the adoption. And I'm believing Web3 future will come to reality. You and me and all of us will be part of to make this miraculous journey come to a reality. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That is a great speech, and as we all know, Abdullah is working on a great product. It's Gitmir network. So yeah, you are a part of Web3 world, I guess. So Jeff, if you can continue with the question, I can repeat. So why do brand owners, project owners need to prepare in advance for the arrival of the next generation of the internet? And what preparation layout have you done for the Web3? So yeah, we'll be glad to hear your opinion.
I think now is just to be a little bit more patient. It's going to be happening because of the bear market. Many suggestions in terms of what need to prepare, but to me as well, I just need to keep myself very cautious in terms of what's happening in the market. The thing that we think is going to be valid in the future, but for the rest of what we can do, I think that lead to everybody's analysis.
I think you just disconnected, or I don't think we heard the last part correctly. Okay, then I guess let's move on. Tony Tong, if you can continue, if you can answer the question, we'll be glad to hear your opinion on this topic as well. Tony, are you there? Guess he has some connection issues as well, probably, because I see Jeff's network connection is 0 or 10, so I guess he disconnected. So Vince, we'll be glad to hear your opinion on this. Why do brand owners need to prepare in advance for the arrival of the next generation of the internet? What have you done for the preparation of the Web3? And yeah, the stage.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so basically, like there are two stakeholders, major stakeholders involved here. So one is already Web3 native or crypto native, kind of like a project team owners, right? So they've been already here. They probably start something already, probably not have been successful yet, or just started. That's fully understandable. I mean, the first thing that you need to do is actually to correctly identify who you're talking to, right? Who are your actual target audience? This is actually pretty critical in a way if you think about it, because this would actually determine what is your like the philosophy of your product design, what is your go-to-market strategy, right? And what would be the tokenomics design for your product? Say if you are targeting, let's say first, if you are a to developer kind of protocols, right? So how would you actually design your product? First, you probably in yourself, you need to be a profitable or some, like a profit-making product for yourself, right? Like a DEX, like a NFT marketplace, like something. It's in itself. It must be a holistic, a complete thing that can work on itself. It cannot be something like, oh, hey, I built the protocol. Here is the doc, and you guys are dev, right? You guys can come and use it. If that's the case, then basically you have to BD all the way down, right? You have to persuade everyone to use your protocol, to adopt your tech solution, which is essentially like the SaaS kind of approach in the Web2 world. If you think about it, this is not going to work. This is proven to be fail. And basically, if you are a to consumer kind of a product, right? If you are targeting the Southeast Asia, for example, some of the the GameFi projects, they want to say, oh, hey, we are targeting the Southeast Asian markets, and we've been desktop first, right? This doesn't make any sense because for Southeast Asian people, most of the people would have a phone. Most of them don't really have a desktop, right? So that's the reality. You have to respect it, right? So do realize who are your actual target audience, and you have to be very, very specific about it, right? If you're not specific enough, then probably your venture would be a failure because you don't understand who are going to be your users, be your traffic, who are actually going to, and also, traffic or users are not equal to who are going to pay for you, right? Some of the stuff, some of the products are not serving the users as a human, but as a bot. Biggest example would be DeFi, right? For DEX, you would see that 95% of the actual users being bots on DEX. And there's nothing wrong about it, right? It's about trading. It's about money. Then essentially, bots are doing it better than human beings. Simple like that. So if that's the case, you got to compete on the algorithm. You got to compete on the quality of your DEX in terms of its whole value delivery. You can like probably user interface, these kind of things are not as important unless you're Pancake, right? That's a different. That's a whole different story. So do realize who is your target audience, who you're talking to. That would save a lot of time. Don't just build halfway through it and realize, holy crap, then this is probably not going to work because I don't really understand who am I talking to, right? For the more traditional Web2 brands, the first thing is don't dream too much upon your first touch of Web3. Web3 isn't something that you understand it before or you have tried before as different kind of like a marketing strategies or approaches as before. This is more about branding. This is more about how to get in touch with an entirely different group of user. So don't kind of like hold this kind of belief that, oh, I have done this for so much in Web2 world. I have served, say, like over 1 million users. Then I must have done it way better than the crypto native kids. Let's give them a listen. Don't hold this kind of a mentality. If you hold this kind of mentality, your endeavor here is also going to be a failure, right? Be humble and be willing to listen to the crypto native guy and be practical upon your first taste in the Web3 world. Otherwise, it will be a very big disappointment for you guys. So I think that's all I would like to comment on. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. That's a great question. That's a great answer. I mean, and as all of your answers of our guests today have been, we can conclude about the Web3, what we have discussed, what you have talked about. Web3 is decentralized. Web3 is permissionless. Web3 has native payments. Web3 is trustless. It can decrease the gap between the poor and the rich. This is the point that our guest today delivered. It can help the global sustainability. It is the future of the internet. So thank you very much for this wonderful discussion. It's been great. I believe our guests loved it as well, as we can see in the chat. So we will move on to the third and fourth discount codes. As you know, the Jubi 9th anniversary, millions of prize pools, token discount, carnival, go as low as 90% off. Activity is still in full swing. We will send out the third and fourth wave of code passwords in this live broadcast. I will share them right now, so please get ready to grab a 51% off token discount. So again, I will repeat it 2 times. So the code is LS5049. So again, it's LS5049. So please note that down for yourself. We will also share with you a 91% off BTC discount in a second. So let's wait till you note the code for yourself. And we will share another one right away. This will be the biggest one that we have in today's discussion, today's stream. So I hope you guys are ready. So the code is LS1009. So again, it's LS1009. So you can use the code password on Jubi's official website to receive the token discount coupon. Users with discount coupons can use them at 2 and 8 p.m. every day from November 8th to November 11th to buy discount tokens and win up to 91% off BTC, Ethereum, JT, and other tokens. So please don't miss out on these activities on Jubi's official website. We will be sharing 300,000 USD transaction fee discount coupons where new and old users will get 100 USD transaction fee discount coupons for free. You can also participate in a free lucky draw to win 91% off the BTC. And we will end our broadcast right now since it's been over 2 hours. And I can't thank the guests enough for staying here for the discussion that we had. It's been great. And I hope we can sometimes get together again soon and discuss the future of crypto. So Eileen, Abdullah, Jeff, Tony Tong, Vince, and unfortunately, Charlie has left the meeting, but we're still thankful for you joining today. So thanks for our guest today, and we'll be glad to follow all of your crypto projects. And yeah, thanks for your time, guys. I guess we will end the broadcast right now. If you guys have anything to say, I guess let's give you a word. So, Eileen, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. If you guys have anything to say, please do so, and we will end the broadcast.
Yeah, all good. I thank you guys for having me here, and it's been a pleasure. And yeah, congrats for the nice anniversary of Jubi exchange. Yeah, hope all the best to you guys, and yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Nice talking to everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys. So we will end the stream right now. Everyone have a great weekend. I mean, the end of the day. Yeah, bye-bye.